What is a netbook, a wireless card, and a car have in common? Well, there's some of the tools you need to do ward driving. In this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to ward drive and what the overall outcome should look like when you're done. I'm going to get in the car and get things set up. We're going to go for a little ride, do some ward driving. Now that we have the hardware set up, the netbook running Backtrack 4, the wireless card, and the optional GPS receiver, it's time to fire up Kismet. Alright, now that everything's all set up, we have Backtrack 4 running. You want to open up a terminal because you want to get this GPS thing fired up. There's a lot of really cool things you could do when it comes to ward driving. And having a GPS really adds to the amount of information that you're going to be able to receive while you're out ward driving. So, with that being said, we're going to fire up the GPS, Damon, and get your GPS to start putting in some information. So, in order to do that, you're going to type in GPSD space TAC capital N space TAC N space TAC capital D 3 space the location of where your GPS resides on your machine. In most cases, it's /dev/TTY capital USB 0. Once you have that in, you're going to want to hit enter. That's going to fire up the GPS daemon, like I said. And if everything goes well, you're going to see a bunch of information being spewed on your screen, and it's going to stay that way until you stop it. Basically, it's pulling all the information, whether your longitude, your latitude, the whole 9 yards. So you're going to leave that up and running, and you're going to start another shell so you can start Kismet. Now, Kismet is a program that's going to allow you to actually see the wireless access points and actually save all that information, the access points, the SSID, and all that stuff, and it actually is going to save it into a .NET XML file. So in order to fire a Kismet, you're just going to type in Kismet, and you're going to get an interface like this. And what it's asking you is to start the Kismet server. So you're going to say, yes, I want to start it. And you're going to type in localhost, and you got to spell it right. So it's localhost. Then you're going to go down and hit start. That's going to start up the server. This is the information, obviously, that you received saying, yeah, I started a server, and it's going to give you information all about it. You can just hit tab and, close out of the window that it's displaying here. All right, now you're here. You're not going to receive anything yet because you still have to tell Kismet what your interface name is. By default, in this configuration file, it's like Wi-Fi 0 or whatever. Most people's cards, when they plug them in, isn't Wi-Fi 0. It's either WLAN 0 or RA 0. In my case, it's WLAN 0. So you're going to go up to Kismet up here, click on that, and you're going to hit Add Source. Wherever it says Interface right here is where you're going to type in the interface of your card. If you're not sure what the interface name is, you can always open up a third shell and type in iwconfig, and that'll give you your name. Alright, now after you have your interface name inputted in, you're going to hit add and hit enter. You should start to see the wireless access points being populated, which you can see right here. Now that you have the GPS up and running and you have Kismet, they're all working together and logging information about the wireless access points, what they're encrypted with, if there's anybody on that particular network that's going to pull clients with their MAC address, which is really, really nice if they have the security feature on that says, I only accept clients with this MAC address. This will actually grab their MAC address so you can, spoof MACs and get on that way. You understand where I'm going with this. There's a lot of cool things that you're going to be able to do because you have so much information with these two programs. There's one thing you have to know while you're out ward driving. If you're using a GPS with Kismet, or just Kismet in general, you're not going to want to go above 35 miles an hour. 30 to 35 is a sweet spot, so you can gather the information and it'll be accurate for one. It's just not going to grab anything if you go over 35 miles an hour. I find that it just doesn't do anything. You're going too fast for obvious reasons. So it's best to be in a development or on some back streets where you're not forced to go over 35 miles an hour. Grab as much information as you can, because that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go out for a drive through the neighborhood. I'm going to pull all this information in, and then when I get back, I'm going to show you how to take your .NET XML file and put that into kismet, which is then going to return and give me a KML file, which you can then input into Google Earth, which is going to give you a nice overlay of all your wireless access points that you've been through or been to, along with the SSID, any clients that we're on, and what type of encryption. So I'm going for a drive, and I'll see you when I get back. All right, now that we're out driving around, we're all done. We gathered so much information from running GPS and Kismet. Now it's time to actually take the information that Kismet had left us in the form of a .NET XML file on our desktop. We want to take that and put that into kismet so we can take that file that it outputs and put it into Google Earth so we can see what we're looking at here. It'll give a nice overlay of the wireless access points along with all the information right on top of Google Earth. So in order to do that, you're going to look for the file that Kismet had left on your desktop. It's usually like Kismet, then like the month and the day .NET XML. Once you find that file, I like to rename it. I rename mine wardriving.net XML. You want to leave that extension. So once you rename it, you want to put that file into kismet. So you're going to open up a terminal, and you're going to put this in. kismet space TAC-X space the name of that file. Mine is wardriving.net XML. You're going to hit enter, and then what it's going to do is going to check the database for all the access points that you had gotten when you were out war driving. Once you have done that, it'll add them to the file that you are going to build. So the next thing you want to do is type in the last command for kismet, which is kismet space TAC-Q space quote select star from space wireless end quote space TAC-O space and then the name of the file, which is going to be output.kml. That's the file you're going to create. Space wardriving net XML. So it's going to create the output.kml file from the wardriving.net XML file. Once you do that, it's going to create the file on your desktop. Nothing's going to happen right there. You can close out this terminal now. And then once you close out this terminal, you should see your output.kml file, which is right here. So now all you have to do with that file is save it and open it up in Google Earth, and you'll actually get your nice overlay of your wireless access points for the whole entire area where you drove. Awesome. All right, the last thing you got to do is take that .kml file that you just created in kismet. You just got to put it in Google Earth. So what are you waiting for? Fire up Google Earth, take that file that you created, and you want to open it up in Google Earth so you can see your hard work. Once you do that, you're going to get something like this. All those wireless access points that you pulled when you were running Kismet and your GPS are now have a nice overlay over Google Earth. The cool thing about this is that not only with this saved file, they're going to have exact longitude and latitude points, so you can visit any one of these wireless access points in the future. Anybody that was on that particular network at the time is going to log all the clients as well. So this has got to be the coolest thing ever. Have fun, and remember, don't do anything harmful with it. This is just meant for testing. I wanted to give you an overview of what war driving is and how much information somebody could actually get just by driving down your neighborhood who you think is, doing nothing wrong besides taking a nice Sunday stroll, could be pulling all kinds of information. So with that being said, I'm Sean from hack.com, and we'll catch you later.